Alright everyone, today I want to talk about how one knows if they're delusional. Now, if you're delusional, it's very hard to interpret if what you're seeing, what you're understanding, and what your evaluation of your life is regarding its accuracy, its perception. Because our perception is very skewed when we're delusional. Being a schizophrenic person who has hallucinated quite a bit in the past, I have to say that delusion basically runs your life when you don't have a point of perspective. You don't have a point of reference to refer back to, so that you know that you're a little bit off. You're a little bit off as far as what you see, what you hear, and how you'd interpret it. Now, delusion is a little bit different from hallucination. You might hallucinate things and realize, okay, I'm hallucinating. But delusion, you actually believe that whatever you see, whatever you hear, and whatever you think is the truth. Now, because this whole process is very internal, because schizophrenia or even people who don't have mental illness but are delusional, because this process is completely internal, it's very difficult to get somebody to reconsider what's going on in their lives, what's going on with them, what's going on with what they believe. So there basically is only two options. You have to basically intervene, be very forceful with the person if you care about them. That's saying that this is not the case. You aren't interpreting life correctly. You aren't coming up with the correct conclusions to what you're facing, no matter what it might be. Or if you're suffering from the delusion, you say to yourself, is this really what is true? Is this really the reality that exists beyond how I'm perceiving it? It's very hard to get to that point. It took me a long time to get to that point because I was hallucinating so much. I didn't think I needed meds, and I was using quite a few drugs many years ago. And all these things combined to create a reality for me that was not solid. Didn't make sense. It was topsy-turvy. And realizing that it was completely opposite of what the true reality took a long time, and it's not an easy topic. But how do you pull yourself back from that? Once you start to realize that, okay, I didn't completely understand what was going on in my life. I didn't completely understand who I was, or how people were treating me, or the situation that I was dealing with on a day-to-day basis. I didn't understand any of that. So I've done so much damage to myself and the people in my life. So how do I come back from that? Where do I start, and how do I maintain a sane mind that is not delusional now that I've worked past that? Because I'm not a doctor, I'm not a psychiatrist, so I can't really say how you get past that. How I got past it was through a lot of reading, a lot of study, and a lot of self-consideration, but I can't give you specifics. But once you're past it, where you're like, okay, so much of my life was delusional. I hurt myself and other people so much with my delusions, with what I did. How do I proceed from here? You have to basically accept that you're a completely different person. You are not the same person that you were when you were delusional. You're a completely different personality. So, though people see you the same way, the people that you want to make amends to, or the people that you want to make friends with because you didn't start out on the wrong foot, or you didn't start out on the right foot, or the people that you're trying to impress because you look so ridiculous. I felt that too. And whether it be school or work or family, friends, it doesn't matter. What you have to do is say, okay, you have to basically be honest with them and tell them, okay, I was going through a really hard time in my life, but I'm past that now, and I don't think that a lot of our communication was correct. I don't think that I performed correctly in our communication, and hey, let's start over. And that might seem simple, but that's what you gotta do. You gotta say, okay, let's just start over. Let's get rid of grudges. Let's get rid of what we think about each other, and let's meet again. And now, not everybody is going to forgive you. Not everybody is going to say, okay, that makes sense. Let's do that. But if people don't want to agree with you, even after you try to convince them, say, okay, I respect your decision. I wish you had chosen something else, but okay, we'll proceed as this, or okay, I guess we're done, and it takes a lot of strength to say, okay, I guess we're done, but it's very important that you do that. That if somebody isn't accepting of what you went through, that you have to be done with their relationship. And it's not always one conversation. It's not always, okay, if you don't accept, that I wasn't the person that I am now, that I was delusional, then I'm done with you. You're ridiculous. It's not always like that. You got to try a few times, especially if you want the relationship to continue. But if somebody cannot accept you for the mistakes that you made, then you're better off not knowing them, and you're better off not having them in your life, because the people you need in your life, whether it be for jobs, school, friends, family, the people you need in your life are the ones who are willing to give you a second chance. When I say second chance, I don't mean like if you rape somebody or you really hurt one of their family members, then they should give you a second chance. That's a whole nother topic. Maybe they should, but that's a whole nother topic. I'm not really talking about that. What I'm talking about is whether you offended somebody, you accuse them of insulting you, or like preying on you socially, or looking over you for a promotion, or trying to embarrass you in ways that they actually weren't. Things like this, social things like this, and if people aren't willing to forgive you based on the knowledge that you explain to them about what you're going through. Anybody who has encountered the situations in which they engage with you in this way and won't forgive you, then you got to cut them off. You have to say, I have to move on from this person. I have to move on from who they thought I was, because they aren't willing to let it go. And this is how I'm going to progress in my life. Delusion is a terrible thing. It can inflict so many different kinds of people, not just people with schizophrenia like me, or other schizophrenics, or depressed people. Delusion is an animal always lurking at the edge of what we think we know. We think we completely understand our reality, so we make decisions. And a lot of the time, there are magnitudes of delusion that everybody deals with. The vast majority of the time. But if you have a mental illness, or you're just very delusional for one reason or another, you're going to encounter these problems exponentially increase because of the factors that I mentioned. But always move forward. Try to stick with the people who can understand what you went through and forgive you for what you did, or basically accept you as a new person from who you were. And never let what you did haunt you when it comes to this paranoia, social problems, and snap judgments that people make about you, or relationships that you formed and with a certain level of hostility because you were delusional. I've done that too. Never let those things hold you back, because you have to move forward. You have to understand that you're a new person, and you have to become familiar with yourself as a new person, and also explain to other people that you are a new person now, and that you will not make the same mistakes as you did in the past. And try to move forward like that. Even if you do make the same mistakes, just try to say, I'm not going to make the same mistakes, because I will do my best not to. And if I end up making the same mistakes, I am sorry. Just be completely honest with people, and then move forward based on that analysis for yourself, for other people, and be completely honest. And eventually you get to a point where your delusions, they seem like a distant memory, and they no longer affect your social life. They no longer affect your reality. And it's always about moving forward, never back. Always forward, never lamenting or crying about what has happened. And trust me, I've shed plenty of tears. But it's all about progression, one step at a time. But thank you very much for watching. This has been a video about a delusion and how you deal with it. But if you like this video, feel free to hit that thumbs up down there, and feel free to comment. I'm always willing to engage people who have questions or want to talk more about things that I have in my videos. But thank you very much, and I hope you all have a great day.